Resident Evil 5 has always been one of my favorite entries in the whole wide franchise. I remember being really excited about getting my hands on it back in the summer of 2009, all thanks to my wonderful father who made it possible. I absolutely loved Resident Evil 4 around that time, so seeing the scale of Resident Evil 5, the return of Chris, and how the game looked visually compared to 4, it was really difficult for me not to be ecstatic. There was a certain magic in being able to recognize the bass pistol sound in 5 as being the same one from the bass pistol in 4. And then you would grow up to understand the concept of reused assets, and that magic may or may not fade away after that, but I digress. Even after all this time, about 17 years later, there's a lot that I appreciate about Resident Evil 5 as it remains dear to my heart. And I think one of the more overlooked aspects about this game is the sound design and the ambiance that it sets in motion. The moments where you're alone with only the background sounds and the noises to accompany you, and well, Sheva, I guess. I think that's one part of the game that deserves some praise, and that's why we're here today. So, welcome everyone, grab a snack or a drink and join me on a humble appreciation trip for Resident Evil 5. The opening cinematic to Resident Evil 5 gives us a teaser for the game's main theme, Pray, which we only hear the full version of at the credits of the game. The song is beautiful yet haunting. The pace of it going along with the intro cinematic makes it feel like something terrible is slowly unfolding, and that's exactly what's happening. As the song plays out, we get to see very short prequel scenes to events that would soon unfold in your playthrough, such as the transformation of this man into a certain boss fight, and then also BSAA Captain DeChant's arrival at the location that would mark his and his team's end. This intro, in hindsight, does a great job of setting up the tone without taking too much time to do so. Upon Chris and Sheva's arrival at Kiju, you're met with a vast road to walk down, each corner of this one road containing a thing to look at or listen to. There's even a hidden scene in a back alley where you can see a man being dragged away for probably not good reasons.
Yes, we read you.
And then as you walk down the road, getting closer to the meeting point, we're met with a cutscene that drives home the feeling of isolation. Sounds of speech coming from a radio in a corner. The residents we'd just seen seemingly vanishing out of nowhere, and this zoom out of the protagonists emphasizing the solitude. Okay, I know what you're thinking. I just said residents and you're thinking, oh my god, evil residents. Or honestly, I don't know, maybe you didn't even think about that and I was just yapping. Don't worry about it, let's move on. In a lot of these Kiju segments, you have this non-intrusive song playing in the background that feels like it's attempting to instill an anxiety and unrest. And hearing some of the other sounds in the background you come across only adds to how ominous it feels at times. Like, you're just out here fending for yourself, and then you see yet another poor victim being dragged away for nefarious reasons. One of the better parts of the Kiju segment is when you're getting overwhelmed by enemies from all directions as you hear the rest of your team through comms being devoured by some of the creatures you come across.
Contact with Alpha Team. They're under attack by an unidentified hostile. Reinforcements report the field coordinates immediately. What the fuck are those? Mathis in HQ. I'm under attack by 5 BO
In contrast, you'll sometimes have a slower part where you get a cutscene like this playing, followed by an ominous tune building up to you approaching what's about to happen.
Somebody help me! Help!
All this devastation around Chris and Sheva, coupled by that one scene where the BSAA HQ insists that they should head over to the next destination by foot despite the dangers, really drives home how isolated they are despite them being in a more comfortable position at the beginning of the game. And in hindsight, this also makes Chris's eventual doubts regarding the BSAA leadership very understandable, and perhaps one might even call this foreshadowing.
This is insane!
You ever get the feeling you're expendable?
Chris is a walking human tank, so it's not super surprising that he would overcome the dangers we see in this game. And to top it off, we have a promising rookie alongside him, Sheva, so they can work together to fend off the danger. And as one of the ways to make up for that, Resident Evil 5 definitely leaned into making you feel overwhelmed by the enemy count at certain parts. Like you have this one part where running away is actually encouraged, unless you have an abundance of ammo and want to get a specific treasure item from this specific part, but it's probably better to save it for another playthrough. I really want to give a shout out to the sound design of this game in general. You never really feel like it's slacking in that department. I'll definitely admit that some of the later levels are more boring, but even they have some saving graces, like the ship level where you can just take a gander at how massive the ship is and watch the sea at night. And speaking of sound design, they're relatively minor things that have nothing to do with the ambiance, but goddamn, headshot sounds in this game are satisfying as hell. When thinking of the overall atmosphere of Resident Evil 5, I think back to the making of video for the game where they had a segment that showed the talented woman behind the theme song of the game, Olimata Nyang, and I'm sorry if I butchered that pronunciation. The whole making of video is just a wonderful watch, and I recommend watching all of it if you can at some point, but I just want to highlight the part where they transitioned the recording at the studio into the final recording, and how the producer, Jun Takeuchi, says that he enjoyed the performance so much that he couldn't help but shed a tear. And hearing the song, I can easily see how he was so moved. It's such a beautiful piece.
Even death is not respite from all this pain of worldly flight. When will we see heaven's light? I think of you whenever bell tolls. If I tell your tale, will this face for I pray for tempest-tossed lost souls, eternal sweetness
聞かせてもらって、ちょっと泣けましたね、正直。すごい厚みのある音というか。
Don't know how common of an opinion this is, but I really think Capcom captured a certain beauty of the African culture in this game that is special to it. There are a lot of picturesque areas, beautiful looking places that are truly unique to Resident Evil 5. It's not just about the visuals, the sound design and the audio both do a big job in capturing that beauty as well. A lot of the time, the audio is just oddly serene, if a little unsettling, and it's that combo that really makes the game's environments pop like they do. And it does just go full circle with how I described the game's main theme, Prey, as beautiful yet haunting. A lot of the time, that's the exact feeling I get from the areas and environments in this game. I don't know if it was intentional that they reflect that same feeling through the areas and the sounds accompanying them, but they did a great job, because I definitely felt it. Obviously, this doesn't apply to all areas, because this game also houses segments like this. But in spite of the shortcomings of this game, despite the faults, the downsides, it's a game that I hold dear to my heart for many reasons. And some of the things we've mentioned in this video definitely are some of those. See, I'm talking a lot about Resident Evil 5 audio, but it would not be an authentic video if I don't bring up the absolutely iconic...
Hurry! Come on! Hurry! Hurry! Sheva! Hurry! Come on! Come on! Sheva! Hurry! Sheva!
Okay.
I've loved Resident Evil 5 in 2009 when it came out, and I still love it in 2026. I've had amazing memories with this game, both by myself and with others as well. This game was my first major online experience on console, so that just doubles how special it was for me. 2009 truly was a magical time, and I'm just so thankful for all of it. One of the oddest facts about Resident Evil 5 is that Joe Ramirza worked on it as a sound designer. No wonder the work here is solid. If you're unfamiliar, Joe Ramirza is the legend responsible for a lot of Silent Hill bangers, like Cradle of Forest or Hometown. So for that alone, my man deserves a shout out, and it would be an honor of me to give one to him. I want to thank all of you for listening to my silly gushing over this game, and I hope you enjoyed watching this brief but honest video. If you guys want to see videos for certain Resident Evil games, please do let me know in the comments below. I'm thinking of doing some Resident Evil 6 videos because I also admire some things about that game, but I'm open to pretty much all of the games. Okay, maybe except Umbrella Corps. But still, give it your best shot and go ahead and comment that if you want to. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.